In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, most service jobs required collecting lots of information. And back then, information was on paper. The full cost of text-driven changes are often now borne entirely by workers instead of being shared between workers, firms, and societies as they had before. Clearly, it's time for a rethink.
4 drivers of change. One, obviously, technology, but is not necessarily the decisive or unalterable factor in the evolution of the future of work. We point as well to demographics, and of course we have very divergent demographics taking place in different parts of the world. The fact that climate change is going to require a major rejigging of productive processes around the world, that has to be factored into the way the future of work is organised. And finally, we've always sort of operated on the assumption of ever deepening, accelerating globalisation as a way we're going to organise the world of work. I suspect with some of the politics going on around the world right now, that's not a safe assumption any longer.
The quantum of change that we're going through now in the structure and the nature of work is probably bigger than what we went through 100 years ago. And so it's good to know what the macro trends are. It's good not to ignore them, but we'd say it's understanding the degree of disruption. 60% of jobs will be restructured or affected by technology. 30% of activities will either disappear or be entirely restructured. So it means all of us have to change.
12 hours of work per week for a worker in retail, which that would not have happened 10 years ago. That's enabled because the technology enables the employer to know exactly when the customers are going to be there and predict this. We can resolve some of these issues through collective bargaining, through social dialogue.
Often when we talk about technology, we're afraid of the technological impact of what the future of world may bring. But I think if we move past the fear, particularly in emerging economies and developing countries, there's so much opportunity that can shift to where we're at now.
We are underperforming in terms of international policy, and that's where the massive gains are, if we can turn those 3 keys together.
The responsibility that our clients and every organization has to do is to look at those skill sets and think, how am I going to restructure my workforce to manage this change, not simply wait for the aftershocks to hit me, because the companies that act more proactively will get better results.
If this sort of 100th anniversary of the ILO can help to stimulate this type of debate, to focus the extraordinary thinkers that we have in the room today, and more importantly, stimulate the right sorts of action to move the world on the trajectory for the future of work, which is not imposed upon us, which is not waiting to happen to us, but we're willing and able to create, then I think we've done something quite important.